Good morning. It's October the 24th, 2017. Time to kick off another trading day. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since trades have not been executed, so this may over or under compensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Okay, it is auction. We have the 2, 5, and 7 coming up. Typically, the short end is higher, the intermediate term is lower, and then the long end is sideways to up. That's not a given, though. Starting this year in 2018, we've had the pretty good selling in the 2 and 3 year on some auctions. Sometimes they perform as expected higher. So at some point today, to move the paper, we will see some dealer support for the 2 year. I don't know exactly where that's going to be, but we have pretty good support probably in the 16 to 20 area, and we'll play for that. Today's news is limited. PMI flash composite. No one pays much attention to markets numbers, but it is a piece of news that we'll have today that could have some impact on the trading. Manufacturing 53.3. In Europe, the manufacturing PMI numbers were higher. Germany's service number was lower, which took the EU's service number lower too. So our service component 55.2, manufacturing 53.3, the composite 54.8. Richmond Fred, I've seen 17 to 20 on the estimates for that. For us, the focus will be the direction of the E-mini in the 2 year auction, in my opinion. So we've got a move out of the middle. Mom's markets come to the balance in the market when it breaks support like this. Range extension right here in K period is the trade to see if we can test the bottom of value and or this low. So we have our move out of the middle, came after the Asian session. Well, the tail end of the Asian section. The movement started in Frankfurt in the K&L period. We've got pretty good resistance at 28. London highs there in M&M period. So 27.31, sell 1. 3 to 7, sell 2. I had a 23 to 19 buy, so structurally we'll see if it holds up. Buy 1. 17 to 13 will be buy 2. Well, it's all around us down here, but tenor saxophone is my musical instrument love. The most expressive instrument in the world, maybe the violin will give it a pretty good run. But you can really bend the notes on a tenor sax. Looking at the 30 year. And again, going to the longest line of letters. We have which way is the market going to go? Well, I've got a B behind me. I've got a B right here. I've got a mom. So given this structure and everything that's behind us, we are sellers. And we don't get in the way. It's pretty easy under this to sell resistance, top of value, 4/5 letter ledge. The actual high of the day, which you can see we have a B right here, and we're definitely working on a B right now. So everything is pointed lower. And the low volume number down here is 51.13. So 16 to 20 is number 1. 9 to 13 is buy 1. Because of the 2-year auction, we'll make 1 to 5 buy 2. Easier to move paper with a higher interest rate. No doubt about that. 28 to the buck 1. 3 to 7 sell 1. And 11 to 15 sell 2. Not like up in Minneapolis where they play the Cordine. Just kidding. But there's a lot of, my experience in lacrosse, a lot of polka music, which was fun. No, just go along. Just combine the distributions and break them or split them up. We'll play with that after 10:30 today, Scott. By the end of today, you'll know how to do it. Obviously, I've isolated Globex on a single day basis right here on this. And if I wanted to do another split, I could do it right there in X period. I could do it in N period. All these little moves out of the middle. So, save space, I'll do it like that. So again, the selling started in on Frankfurt Paris time, not London time, in K&L period, and they do that to take a get a jump on London. Volume wise, we've got a B right here in the congestion area, so we're sellers. In K period, actually J period would be the proper split to go to the longest line of letters. That would start the distribution down and make it prettier than an I split. So we have 2 Bs behind us, so we're looking for a place to sell it. See if we can test support, which might be as low as 73, 75. So on the sell side, the aggressive sell would be at 79, leaning against that number. So 79s to 81s, sell 1. 83, 85, sell 2. On the buy side, stops below 75, so we'll make 73, 75 buy 1. 69, 79, 71 buy 2. Not a lot of news to move the market today, so my guess is that the market will be contained. Famous last words. Oh, he thought the market was going to be contained today. But we should be early to the game. We should be short to test support. We should be long to test resistance before we actually get there and take it out. Okay, the news focus this week is the European Central Bank. Nobody's talking much about when they'll start to hike interest rates, but everybody believes that the taper will begin no later than December. And they'll take support for their markets and economy from 60 billion a month to 30. That would imply that interest rate increases are coming too, but they haven't talked much about that. So I would imagine that people will be thinking in terms, let the taper begin, kind of watch it for a while. So the soonest they would think about raising interest rates would be the second quarter of 2018. Now that's a swag on my part. There's nothing written about that. There's no forward guidance on that I've been able to find or remember. Okay, 118 even. Sell 1. Sell 2, 1825. On the buy, the high volume number held down here. So we've got a 75 buy. and then a 50 to 60 buy. So I look for range bound trading in the euro today. It's a great market for us. We don't get to it as often as we'd like during the day, but the nice thing about the euro is that it trends. It does move directionally. Crude oil is up. Today we'll have the APIs tonight. We've been having big draws in crude. We've had a decrease in runs or refinery capacity due to changeover season. That's interpreted right now. We cut refinery runs and gasoline and distillates build. So everybody thinks the demand's pretty weak in crude, but that hasn't stopped us from rallying. There was an article out yesterday that the demand for petroleum may be understated because China is running their inventories down. Sell 1, 52 and a quarter, 51.50. Sell 2, 52.75, 53. On the buy side, 51.50, 51.75, buy 1. And then 51 even, 51 and a quarter, buy 2. So we'd like to sell 52.50s or better, and we'd like to buy 51.50s or better when you get right down to it. And you can see that pretty good selling, starting at 51.50, 52.50, and we've got buyers right here at 51.50, so we're in a pretty narrow range. Okay, the E-mini. Can it sell for 2 days in a row, or did we just have our one-day correction yesterday? That's the question everybody will be asking themselves today. Structurally, the market is still pointed higher. We got a very clean break in the market in the 61, 62 area. The spill yesterday started an E period. So 74, 75 is resistance. Last rotate up before it broke. Stopped at 71, 72. K period high at 70. And we have the Globex higher at 69. So 70 plus or minus a couple is where resistance is. And we'll play for the first trade of the day as a short to test support. Sell 1, 74, 76, sell 2. On the buy side, 61, 63, buy 1, 55, 57, buy 2. And we're picking up this volume right here in our 55, 57, leaning against that. Our 61, 63 is picking up this area right here. And our sell is picking up this area right there. That's sell 1. And this is sell 2. So the news PMI composite is at 54.8. Don't think anybody will pay a lot of attention to that. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. Back with you as soon as possible.